this is kind of a public service announcement to anybody that's done a rear disc brake swap on a 58 to 64 full-size Chevy, in this case an Impala. This car has, I have no idea what brand, rear disc brake kit put on it. I didn't put it on. This car was built nearly 20 years ago, but it's got fairly large back wheels and tires. These are, let's see, these are 275 35 ZR20s. But anyways, customer complaint was it had a really bad wobble in the back end, and I'll show you how bad. He brought it and was running 70 miles an hour up and down the highway like this. It's cut it all the way through the belt. But if you look over here, there's no wear at all. I mean, it hasn't touched. Over here, it's chewed the wheel up and cut a gnarly groove in the tire. Now, when you get these disc brake kits, I saw one from Classic Industries. In the fine print, it says that you need to potentially modify the axle hub. In the case on this car, the rotor would not fit over the circumference of the end of the axle. Basically, this is the side that was damaged. You couldn't seat it properly. No matter how tight you got the lug nuts, it was always off. It damaged the brake pads. I've already taken this off, and I dressed down the outside of this hub with a flat belt sander, machined it down. Now this fits up nice. It should just have a little bit of slop, anybody that's ever done disc brakes. But this side did not. Interestingly enough, the other side of this car, it's got a different axle. I don't know if it was built that way or what. The axle shaft is different and it sticks way out. Probably just wasn't as noticeable when whoever built this car built it, but caused a severe out of balance situation where it was just hitting the back side of this. I'm having to do some minor repairs. I mean, it's not gonna be awesome, but I mean, it was nearly a disaster. It had stripped one of the lug nuts. He was running up down the road like this. So this is an expensive aftermarket brake kit. So pay attention to the fine print and make dang sure that you don't have this problem. On this side, you can see the axle hub or the axle flange is different. It's got a little bit of play. You do not want this to happen to your car. So just when you do it, this really applies to any car, but anytime you're working with the brakes, you need to make sure that everything is squared away. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this side off and just make sure there's nothing behind the surface of the rotor or, you know, rust buildup or whatever. But because you can see it's had some stuff going on here. Not sure exactly what yet, but figured I'd put this out there. So if you're having a disc brake kit put on and you don't do this all the time, it's relatively easy to miss. But so apparently it does have the same problem on this side. It feels stable and there's a little bit of slop. No, it looks right, but I measured it and it does have a little wobble in the rotor. Kind of does this, but real minor. We'll flip it over and show you what it looks like. All right, the rotor turned around backwards. Check that out. Look at that gap. I don't know how they missed it. Here you can see the lip where that rotor had made a mark. It's slid that far and that's where it had stopped. That was from just, I assume, just hammered it on there with an impact. But I'm gonna go ahead and machine it down, show you what it looks like before I put it back together. All right, so this is after some machining. I have a big belt sander, 18-inch belt sander that I used to do that. You get it done in a machine shop, that'd probably be better, but You can do this just fine on the car. Just took just a little off there. By a little, I mean about a 1/16 of an inch. Also clean the face up. Now I'm gonna put my lug nut studs back in there. Just unbelievable how much stuff had to come off there. Yeah, see? Before that had been an 1/8 of an inch gap. Now it's just sitting on there loose. There's a bevel on the inside of the rotor, so you don't have to get it all the way flush up against the hub face. So it'll fit nice and square now. I appreciate you watching.